look around the room today and I don't see any other teenagers, so I'm kind of the odd one out. But you know, there's a large group. There's a large difference between our ages here, you know. And what I want to do today is close that gap, because I know all of you were teenagers and you were all in my position at once. But I believe that most have forgotten what it feels like, and I'm here to remind you. And as a teenager, I'm kind of figuring out who I am. You know, I just passed 9th grade. Very, very stressful year. You know, I mean, you got to balance grades, figuring out everything else, finding friends and stuff. I'm lucky to have stayed on the same school through 8th grade and 9th grade year, just make it all easier. And whew, let me tell you, it's not easy. You know. Now, as we turn to 1 Corinthians 12:15. This is about the body of Christ and functioning together as a body. And it says, "Now the foot should say, because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body. It would not that for that reason stop being part of the body. And if the ear should say, because I am not an eye, I do not belong to the body. It would for that reason stop being part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the sense of hearing be? If the whole body were an ear, where would the sense of smell be? But in fact, God has placed the parts of the body, every one of them, just as he wanted them to be. If all were one part, where would the body be? As is, there are many parts, but one body." Now, in that example, they were talking about the human body and all the different functions it has. I mean, if you look at the human body, it really is perfect. I mean, our ears are specifically designed for human conversation, so that it intercepts it just the right way with the decibels and the hertz and blah, blah, blah. And it's amazing, you know, learning about that in science and biology, and even in the Bible, it fascinates me. You know, I'm a learner. I love to learn. I mean, ask them. All I do is talk nonstop during the school year about science class, and math, and all these things that I'm learning. And an example of that is in engineering, all right? In a system, an engineer designs a part to specifically break. It's kind of like a fail-safe or a fuse. For example, there's this gate. It's, I believe it's around 10,000 pounds. And in order to lift it up, it costs like $500,000 every year just to lift it up and put it back down as far as fuel goes. And because of that, it's very heavy, you know, and the engineers had to design a way in order to lift this gate. So what they did is they put in like a $200 generator and motor to spin these gears. But the gears are like $10,000, millions of dollars. They're very expensive, but this pump is extremely cheap compared to the rest of the system. And as consumers, you know, I know a lot of times I get frustrated with some of the technology that's today. I mean, my phone, it starts messing up. I'm like, what's going on here, man? I've sat down in chairs, the chair breaks. I'm like, come on. I mean, you can't think of a better design than this. And the owner of the gate could possibly think, well, the pump broke. I guess we gotta hire a new engineer and fix the entire thing, you know, because it's all flawed. And well, I guess we just lost a bunch of money. But the fact is that that pump broke for a reason. That pump was made to fail so that the gears, the expensive parts of the entire system, they were protected. It acted as a fail-safe. Same thing happens in our everyday lives, you know. I know I've looked at myself and I've thought, wow, I'm broken. We gotta get a new engineer in here. We gotta fix this problem. What's going on? But in reality, it's all part of God's greater plan, you know. We're the consumers. We think, oh, man, it's broke again. We gotta get a new one. Anyway. Now, Einstein. He's probably my favorite person my favorite human in the universe. You know, Einstein and Newton. I love them. You know, all the things that they've done. Newton created calculus. I mean, I've never heard of one person creating a division of math. That'd be like the coolest feat ever. Quote by him, he said, "Once we accept our limits, we can go beyond them." And a lot of people tell me, "Travis, you're such a negative person." And I say, yes, but I'm positively negative. Now, what the heck does that mean? Now, let me explain something. In school, I'm horribly negative. I get a B+, and I'm like, what the heck did I do wrong? I'm very mad at myself. And I take anger out on myself. I'm really mad, and it bugs me for a really long time because I know my limitations, and I know that I can go beyond them with God's help because it's who I am. And there's a lot of situations that helps me, you know, although it kind of brings it as a downer sometimes, it helps me reach my goals, you know, especially in sports. My right knee hurts a lot during swimming, and I love swimming. And I do the breaststroke, which is this motion with your leg. And every time I do it sometimes in practice, it goes pop and pops my knee out of place every single time for a minute and a half during the entire race. And I have to just get out of the water during practice and stretch my leg out and everything, and it hurts really bad. And that's from just overusing it, you know? And although that's a problem that I have, I can always overcome it, you know? I just have to stop thinking about it. And that's what I think we have to do in our problems as well. We have to stop thinking of a reasonable way to get through it. There's three types of reasoning, people say. I only know them in Greek: pathos, logos, and ethos. Pathos is the emotional way of deciding things. It's why we don't kill people, because we say, oh, this feels bad, shouldn't do it, I'm not going to do it, because that's how we feel. Ethos is through our leaders, all right? The police, you know, we follow the police. Why? Because they're our leaders. I know in my generation, we follow the celebrities, you know, whatever Justin Bieber's doing, oh, we all do that, you know, Kim Kardashian and all these famous people, Kanye West, oh, he's got these new shoes, let's get them. And we reason that this is what we want to do through people. And the last is my personal favorite, which is logos. It's thinking your way through a problem. I'd like to add a new reasoning to that list, and that is God, all right? We need to stop trying to figure it out ourselves and realize that the higher power, God, is the only way that we're going to figure out who we are and apply problems to our lives. Because they say the bigger you are, the harder you fall. I think of that as a positive way. Again, back to the lazy people. I think of non-lazy people as skinny trees, okay? Meaning they're very easily knocked down. And the art of knocking one down is considered work. If we're lumberjacks, for example. They're very easy to knock down. And this is because, you know, they're easygoing, they'll do things. But I think of a lazy person as a giant red oak. They won't move. And I think of this because they're harder to cut down. It requires more work. And me being a lazy person, it is hard work getting out of bed. And it's also hard work putting myself under pressure every day to succeed. But I think that my fall can be greater. I think that one day I learned that when I apply myself, I can go farther than I would have ever dreamed, back to Einstein. Now, as far as the age gap goes, another quote by Einstein: I fear that one day technology will surpass our human interaction. The world will have a generation of idiots. I'm sorry, my generation is full of idiots, and unfortunately I'm one of them. This thing right here controls my life. I was without it for a very long time. I didn't have a life. It was quite miserable, you know? But it's horrible. Going through high school these days, it's like prison. There's everyone hates each other. Everyone's trying to get it over on each other. You know, I went to a small school. I know half the kids by their last name, and this is preschool through 12th grade. My mom's a first grade teacher. I know a lot of her kids, and when I run through the hallways, all the kids are like, Travis, hi, Travis. And I'm like, hey, what's up? Hey. And yeah, I mean, these are kids that I've grown up with. My mom taught them in preschool. I mean, we were probably in diapers together or something, I don't know. But growing up in watching your friends change, it's very different. And I think one of the biggest problems in the world is tearing people apart. If you read the Bible as a whole, as creation, the fall, and redemption, it's God's story of how He revives and re-energizes His people, and He saves them. The entire story of the Bible, if you look at it as a whole, it has the same exact pattern. The devil, Satan, tears us apart as a people, and God tries to reunite us. Now, if you know anything about biology, breaking bones hurt, right? But the truth is, when you break a bone and it grows back, the bone is actually stronger where it was broken than in the rest of the original bone. And that's because the cells know that, man, that hurt, I don't want to do that again, so they group together and they get stronger. And that's what we need to do as a people. There are many problems in America. I mean, we've got racial tension, sexual identity, the older versus new generation, government, foreign threats, and my favorite, math. These are all threats to America. Now, the one I'm highlighting is the older versus new generations. It's a very hard gap to breach. You know, I know this is going to sound bad, but I really hate old people. And I'm not trying to be mean here. And I'm not trying to, punch you guys in the neck or anything, but I really do. And I hate old people because old people hate me. And this isn't just because, oh, get off my lawn, whippersnapper. It's not just that. It's because of how I'm viewed. My people, my generation, they've done things to harm other people, to harm older generations, and even the newer ones. And because of that, you're stubborn. And unfortunately, we're stubborn too. And the problem with having two stubborn pieces is nothing's going to happen. If you don't change anything, it is defined as insanity to want a different outcome. So, how do we fix this? Solutions. We have to unite as an entire country, as an entire world. We have to stop and kind of be the bigger man. And about stubbornness, the problem is you can't yell at stubbornness. You can't yell at someone and say, stop being stubborn. It doesn't work. It makes no sense. You have to calmly sit down with them and figure out a solution. The problem with my generation is we don't want to do that. I mean, you can text us all the time and we'll ignore you, but we don't want to calmly sit down. I've sat at tables with girls, and let me tell you something, they are vicious. I get why female wolves and female lions hunt instead of the males. They're terrible at each other. One leaves and they all start bashing that one. They come back and another one leaves and they all start bashing each other. It's actually really fun. It's like a gladiator match, but sometimes it blows up and you don't want to be around there. And another example is I was building a grill, right, for my dad for Father's Day. I hate it. It was a monster, and I mean that literally because I was screwing it together and I was looking at these instructions and it took me like 3 whole days. And the third day we didn't even have air conditioning, so I'm sitting there sweating. We can't go inside. Our lectures. It's a horrible day. It's just like what happened? So I'm building this grill and the part that's specifically hard is I screwed this thing upside down. It controlled the valves that control how much gas is let out. I screwed it upside down, and I couldn't flip it over. And I was like, well, what do I do now? I don't know what to do. Do you know what to do? Like, no, because the screws weren't coming out. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even have the right screws. And I sat down, and I'm like, what am I going to do? And me, being some adolescent here, I'm grabbing pliers, trying to grab the screw and turn it, using tools the wrong way because I don't have the right ones. Eventually, I take a hammer and just go bang, 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 chop the screw off, and then just kick it a bunch of times, and then I think it fixed itself. If I'm blown up, you guys will know why. And I mean, now the knob's over and it looks really pretty, but the getting to that pretty stage, it was so hard. I mean, I hated it so much. It was so horrible. I wanted to just go inside in the AC, but we didn't have any. It was just, there was no place to go. And the problem is that I didn't have the right tools. I had too big of a screwdriver. My wrench was too small or something like that. I'm also missing a nut, so I can't even put the wheels on. So it's just stationary, and I didn't have the right tools. And I was also using the tools the wrong way. This is also what we do as people. Sometimes we blame the tool. I know as technology advances, it gets more complicated. I always think of cars. You know, people tell me back in the day, cars were easy to fix. I mean, you go down to your auto parts store, you get a new part, you go in there, you wrench something out, you put something back in, and then poof, your car goes, or something like that. I don't know how they work. But nowadays, I mean, you've got so much technology in there to where you can push a button and the car starts. I mean, that's really cool. You don't even need keys anymore. And that's awesome. But the problem is that things are so hard to fix. You can't fix them. I can't fix my phone. I can't even get to the battery because the company knows that, well, we don't want you to because we want you to buy a new one so we can get more money. And I know you guys don't appreciate the fact that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and that's horrible, man. I mean, come on, there's got to be a better system here. That's me thinking as a teenager. That's me thinking as a child. I don't know everything. You know, teenager, it's the stage between childhood and manhood, and I don't know which one I am. I don't like being called a child, and no one likes to call me a man, so I guess that's where I am. But looking at my friends, I've seen them like pass on over the years, not to another life, but to other schools and to other things. My friend Martin, he's my best friend in the whole world. I've gone over his house a million times, he's came over my house a million times, and we had the best moments together. How did our friendship start? Paper and a crab, all right? My mom bought me these little crab sticks, and let me tell you something, they are scrumptious. They are so delicious, and I love them so much. And one day, my friend was like, dude, you eat those all the time, let me get one. And I was like, okay, man, I got you. I'm gonna bring it tomorrow. So I come in the next day, and I hand him this crab stick, and he goes, my life has changed. These are so good. I mean, they're so delicious. And I'm like, I know, right? Now I learned that it's not crab, it's like some imitation, disgusting stuff. But it's so delicious. I mean, I wish I had one right now. But the first time I went over his house, it was over folding paper. I should have brought some with me, but I enjoy doing origami. You know, fold it into a little crane that can flap its wings and stuff. It's very fun, you know. And he wanted to learn how to do something, and he wanted to learn how to fold paper. And so he called me over to his house, and my mom worked with his mom, so it was very easy to get to know him and go over his house and everything. But I always noticed something different about it. It was how he learned how to do things. And like I said, I'm a very lazy person, so I push myself as hard as possible. And because of that, I'm self-taught. You know, in math class, I don't rely on a teacher. I've had horrible teachers, and just sitting there, and, I mean, they weren't really horrible. They were horrible for me, because I had a math teacher who loved arts and crafts, and I'm sitting here like, that doesn't make sense. I mean, you should be in like art class or something, you know, not in geometry. I'm sitting here, and she's like, all right, draw the shape this color, and I'm like, I want to calculate the area and the perimeter of this shape. I don't want to be drawing anything. I'm not that well coordinated, I wish. But my friend Martin, he wasn't self-taught. He always went to classes. He always went to friends. He went to other people to help. Now, sure, he worked on it himself, but the actual instructions, the know-how, figuring it out, he always went to others. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's what my generation does. I'm very different. Ask my friends. I'm not like them. You know, I'm a little more socially awkward. You know, we took this personality test in my house one time, and I am an ENTP, and that means I like to debate things. And I'm a little bit socially awkward, but not too socially awkward. My favorite teacher, Mr. Brooks, he has beautiful red hair. I wish I had red hair like him. I mean, I think red hair is the coolest thing in the world. But I think he